Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, I watched Volume 2 of Stranger Things Season 4. It was a very long journey. I did not enjoy the first volume. I got to about the fifth episode and I checked out. I kept it running, I think, through the sixth episode, but I was not paying any attention and I didn't go back and finish them, which I was planning to do before the last two episodes rolled out. Then before I knew it, they were out and I thought, now I've got to watch, I guess, episodes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh no, 8, 9, because there's 9 episodes. There was 7 and then 2. So I looked at 5 and there were scenes I couldn't remember, so I just watched parts of episode 5. So I basically watched half of the season. So that's half of episode 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 was 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I'm sorry, that was, even if you look at movie length episodes, that was 2 episodes. I don't know what they were thinking making that one episode. Have you ever heard of a TV episode or even a final of a series being over 90 minutes long, 2 hours long? It was too much. But I got through it all. It is now 11:25 in the morning. I've been up all night. I didn't want to watch it. I procrastinated for about 3 hours for even starting it, not realising how long the individual episodes was and the last episode. So it took forever. But I got through it and it was good and it did make sense because I hated the Russian storyline. I hated the fact that they had gone backwards, I felt, with 11, where suddenly she was back in the laboratory, whatever you want to call it, with the doctor again, and she had no powers again. She had to find her powers again. She had to find her strength. I felt like, haven't we done all this before? It didn't make any sense. I just had checked out. But it did make sense. They basically showed that she created the monster. She was made from him, and she killed him and created the monster, basically. So this guy that they were hunting, researching, the one who was in the house, the murders, all that, and blah, 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 he basically had powers like her, and they got him in the lab and they started experimenting and they made all the little kids from him. And she was, of course, number 11 out of 19 or whatever, but she was the strongest one. So eventually he asked her to join him. And I mean, she helped him. He asked her to join him, and she said no. He tried to kill her. She didn't just kill him. She basically removed him from our universe and put him into another realm, but opened a doorway to it. And that was how it all began, basically. And she eventually opened it up again, but then closed it. Then he found his own way to open portals. So at each murder, there was a portal. They found one in the Lover's Lake, the Watergate, and they went in, and they sort of didn't fare too well. They weren't organised. They weren't planned. Basically, the group was split into the whole second part. One lot was in the town trying to fix everything, and the other lot was out of town. They went to Susie and got help. They eventually found 11 after she escaped from. I mean, the army invaded the. I'm just going to call it the laboratory. I don't know what they were calling it, and she basically decimated them. They came, they took her, and they made a makeshift sensory deprivation tank thing for her to try and get into Max's head, because Max was eventually going to be, well, she was using herself as a lure, and she was going to basically switch Kate Bush off and engage with the monster, and I should be calling him Vecna. But I've just been calling it the monster the whole time. And things didn't quite go as planned. The football playing vigilantes showed up and they broke the headphones, and they basically stopped Lucas from interfering with Max. And there's a few weird things, like 11, when she actually got into the other realm, I know she at first was able to overpower the monster, and then all of a sudden she had no powers and he was throwing her around and in control of everything. And it was this, and I'm just sitting there thinking, why does she suddenly not have powers? What's happening? And then they had this whole speech from the other side where, God, what's his name? Sorry, I forgot Mickey's name. Was it Mike? He was the really, 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 really skinny one. He basically told her that he loved her, and that was basically what gave her the power to find her powers and find her strength. And she pretty much tried to destroy the monster. She threw him through a wall, and I'm like, really, that's it? And then he came back and was throwing her around again. It was a really long... eventually, he killed Max, but 11 brought her back. But killing her was enough that he could, because basically they found his body, they were going to destroy his body, and he said, look, your friends think you've won, but this is just the beginning. They destroy his body to a certain extent, they burn him, and they're burning him, and I'm like, it's just fire, you have to do more than that. And one of the girls pulled out a shotgun and she's shooting him. I'm like, shoot him in the head, blow his head off. Didn't do it. At least the other guy, the police guy, who they did finally rescue from the prison in Russia, where they had the monsters, which they were like having the prisoners fight or feeding them to them. I don't know what they were doing there, but killing them also helped. He chopped off the head of the one he was fighting, so that probably felt good after all he went through. But yeah, the bad guy sort of won. Just like Michael Myers, who made 2 appearances in the series that I'm aware of, one in this episode through the mask and one as a Halloween costume. When they went out and looked, he wasn't the body, because the body got blown out a window in the attic. He wasn't lying on the ground, he was gone. And the earthquake hit the town, and basically 4 lines of 4 cracks in the earth full of lava basically went and met in the centre of the town, and the town sort of being partly abandoned. People are trying to help, getting food drives and collecting clothes and stuff like that, and they're all basically just collecting themselves. Max is still alive, but she's in a coma. Eddie killed himself, which I don't understand what he was doing. He basically ran, instead of running back and going into the portal, he ran out and was chased by the bats. And I'm like, was he trying to lead them away from the RV home because they could have got through the portal because they were getting in through the vents, or did he just do that just to prove? I don't know why he killed himself, but he did. Pretty much everyone else lived, I think. And yeah, it ends off with basically they know, of course, unlike the rest of the town, it wasn't an earthquake, and they know that basically he's coming in some other form, or something bigger or worse is coming. And the show ends with a bunch of ash falling because the broken sections of earth with the lava and fire and everything are just burning, and the ash is starting to fall, and the ash is killing everything. So it's sort of, everything's sort of turning, it almost looks like it's turning into the Upside Down. So I guess the next season is not going to be a lot of fun. It's just going to be from the beginning crisis and, just trying to survive and resolve the issue. There isn't going to be any lead up. I really like the idea of Stranger Things being like a new mystery each year sort of thing. That's what I thought they were going to do in the beginning. And now it's just a continuation of one long, big sort of thing that I do feel is dragging out a little bit. And this next season, the 5th season, is the final season. I'm kind of glad, because I think they have stretched this out and dragged this out as long as they possibly could. I started to enjoy parts of it when the 2 groups were together and working together, even though they were separate. And they didn't really come together till the very, very end. But they're all together now for this last season, so I'm not sure how they're going to play it out. But they're doing a 5th season. They had a cliffhanger where basically the town is, the world is ending, basically, that this being has literally broken the world, and he's, coming into our world. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm nearly at 10 minutes, so I should try and stop. What else happened in it that was interesting? I'm glad the Russian story went somewhere. They did connect it to the monsters. I thought it was going to be a total side story on its own. I'm glad that they led to something with 11 being back in the lab or whatever it's called, because that really felt like, why are they going over this again? I was watching that for a while thinking, what did they just run out of ideas? So I'm glad it did all come together, and I will assume the next season will make sense and that it'll be well developed and so forth. But I really felt at the start of this that they'd sort of lost that magic that they had in the other seasons. And I don't know how they're going to have any of that in the next season, because they're starting off from a crisis and just running straight into it. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm a bit tired. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I did ultimately enjoy it. I enjoyed the kids working together and the overall action thrillerness of it. The haunted house, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was a bit grim still. Bye.